Now, harmful practices against women are undermining gender equality in developing countries. They're detailed in the UN Population Fund's flagship report. It found almost half of the women in nearly 60 countries are denied the right to decide whether to have sex with their partners, use contraception or access healthcare. 20 countries or territories have laws that allow alleged rapists to escape prosecution if they marry their victims. More than 40 countries have no legislation addressing the issue of marital rape. And more than 30 countries restrict women's freedom of movement outside the home. Let's speak now to Dr. NATALIA, KANEM, who's the Executive Director of the United Nations Popular Fund and joins us now from New York. And NATALIA, welcome to Al Jazeera. It's a troubling report. It's an annual report to shine a light on the emerging issues in the field of sexual and reproductive health and rights. And this particular edition, as we've said, it focuses on women and their lack of autonomy over decisions that should be theirs. So tell us more about the findings.
Well, yes, since 1978, UNFPA, the United Nations Sexual and Reproductive Health Agency, has issued reports about the state of world population. And this year, we're making clear that bodily autonomy of women has been put at risk by norms, by laws, by culture. In particular, women and girls are the owners of their own bodies. Yet the denial of these rights, which is a fundamental human right, leads to nothing less than misery, lack of access to health care, lack of access to contraception, and sadly, as you noted, Nick, almost half the world's women cannot make their own decisions governing their own bodies. These decisions are made by others.
It's startling data within this report, including this one that 20 countries or territories have marry your rapist laws. Tell us about that.
What we see is that sometimes by law and policy, and sometimes by practice, there are a wide spectrum of practices that are really harmful to women and girls. Let me give you the example of female genital mutilation done without the consent of a woman or a girl. The aspect of so-called marry your rapist laws, this is a total annihilation of the woman's right to be able to find justice when she is harmed. Moreover, we see obnoxious practices. For example, virginity testing. What is this? This is a way of subjugating the woman's ability. These tests are not real. They really don't work, but it's a way of trying to take power from women. The one that brings a lot of sorrow to me is the aspect of child marriage. Every single day, more than 30,000 girls under the age of 18, we've got to start questioning why. And the report gives the evidence that shows the consequences of this type of attitude.
Okay, so what about solutions? I understand that the data shows that higher levels of education leads to greater decision-making powers. So what can we do to bring better education to people?
Well, Nick, it actually starts in the cradle. Every family, every girl that's listening to your program right now needs to understand that she has equal rights to everyone else. So I think equipping girls and boys to be able to claim rights that lead to healthy decisions is part of the solution. The arguments about whether or not young people, age appropriate, need information about their bodies, that should be laid to rest. They do. I also think that the report brings up the law and policy aspect. The violations of these rights are actually against norms. So we're calling on governments to do their part. We're calling on men to become allies in this very important fight.
Right, exactly, because it's not just about educating girls, it's also about changing male attitudes to sex and women's rights, isn't it?
Well, I'll give you a great example that comes out of Niger. Niger right now has the highest fertility rate. An average woman there has 7 children, not necessarily because she wants to. And they also have a high death rate in childbirth because of this high fertility. So what government is doing there is encouraging men to attend husband schools, where really they learn about the human body, they learn about how to protect their daughter, their wife, their relative from the dangers of too frequent pregnancy and how to access modern contraception. It's a big success, and good luck to them, because men should step up.
Well, it's an important report. We do appreciate you bringing it to our attention. Natalia, KANEM, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you so much.